Okay, we are live. This is episode 6 of Good Vibes Live. I'm one of your hosts, Liam Marr, and alongside, the other host, Guy. He can talk.
Yo, show them the t-shirt. What I have to say doesn't matter. Show them the t-shirt.
Oh, hold on. We're gonna. That's.
Okay, I'm jumping the gun.
Way less important.
We do have a guest. We have our first guest here today.
First official guest.
First guest.
Hilarious, Josh O'Neill. Josh, how are you doing this fine evening?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Josh, I'm not gonna lie. I thought your last name was Oatmeal until right now.
People think it's Josh Oatmeal. I didn't hear that nickname till I was like about 21. I was working at a pool, and this little girl came up to me. I was working the front desk, and she's like, "What's your name?" And I pointed at my name tag, and I was like, "Josh O'Neill." And she said, "Did you say Josh Oatmeal?" And like, it was just so new and different to me that like my feelings were genuinely hurt. Like I broke eye contact, and I was like, "No, it's not. It's not Oatmeal."
Very clearly, O'Neill.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm doing good. Just hanging out here in Chicago. Pretty repetitive days, watching Cheers, watching movies, going on walks, basic stuff, really.
What's your opinion on Ted Danson as the sexiest lead of all time in Cheers?
It's wild to think that was our standard for like man's man, like hot dude, like fucking biggest forehead in the history of the world. Kind of got like a Cro-Magnon look. But like every time I've shown Cheers to a girl, they're always like, "Oh yeah, no, Ted Danson can get it 100%."
Really? Yeah. I wonder, do they know that his hair is fake?
I don't think they know about the hair piece. Yeah, they don't know about that. And like
that's some fraudulent stuff.
I know there's like a couple episodes where it looks like the front is more like wigged on, but it's all in the back. He's got like a bald spot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like how like George Costanza is like a style icon where people are like, "Oh my God, look at his outfits and stuff. They're all hip and cool and coming back." It's the same way with Ted Danson. Like, we're gonna get crop tops back, and fucking shiny bomber jackets are gonna make a thing.
I'm personally very excited for crop tops. I'm a huge advocate of short shorts, as my friend Liam here knows. Josh, you now know too. I like to show off the thighs.
Mm-hmm. He really does. Got big thighs.
I don't like to brag. It's Good Vibes Live. I don't want to make it all about me. You are our guest, but I probably have the greatest thighs in the business. In the podcasting game.
Okay.
He does like to brag. He loves to brag.
So you're dealing with a big deal.
It's a good look though. Short shorts I'm doing big shirt with short shorts right now.
Oh yeah. So I'm doing the same exact look right now.
I've got green C9 like mesh Target shorts on.
Nice.
To do that with like kind of like a bigger XL shirt. It's a weird look. It's fun. It's like David Byrne kind of. It's a good look.
Are you a fan of the fanny pack underneath the loose shirt with the short shorts?
I've never done a fanny pack. I can't say I have. I don't have many things to carry around.
What about your phone, wallet, keys?
I don't got keys. I don't have a car, so I just have like.
What about your apartment keys?
I just I don't even have a key ring. I put them in the wallet, so I just like the wallet.
I feel you. So when did you move to Chicago from? You were in Cincinnati prior?
I was in Cincinnati for 8 years, went there for college and was there up until, 2020. I moved at the beginning of the year. I got offered a good deal on an apartment out here from a friend, former Cincinnati comedian, Alex Stone. His brother owns a building. So this apartment's just kind of been passed down from Cincy comic to Cincy comic over the years. So when it was time for one of them to move out, I got to take over. So it's been good.
A lot of history there.
Yeah.
John, what year was it? Now, I guess we could have said you're obviously a comedian, a great one who just released, a special called Childish. Well, I guess we'll talk about that in a sec. But what year was it in Cincinnati that you were crowned Cincinnati's funniest comic?
Oh, boy. 2018. They have a contest
2018. That's relevant. That's
who
recent.
won in 2019.
It was close. It was 2018. 2019 was my friend Zachary Wycuff. There are 2 divisions every year. It's semi-pro and amateur. And the year I won semi-pro, Zach won amateur, and then the next year he just went on and won the semi-pro division. Like he did.
Were you able to compete again as a former champion?
No, not you don't want to. You want to give it to other
Gotcha.
people. The
Yeah,
prize, the
you want to
prize
be.
is more like the title, and you get to get upgraded in terms of work at the club. Go Bananas. So basically,
Gotcha.
people who are gunning to be winners of the semi-pro division get a feature spot instead of working host. Like if you win the amateur, you get guaranteed host work. But yeah, it's like you work for the promotion. So once you get that, you kind of just stop doing it and let other people win. Yeah.
Gotcha. With
Very humble.
your special Childish, you did something really cool with it. I don't want to explain it. You're the one who did it with the proceeds. You care to tell the listeners what you did with that?
Sure. Yeah. I put out a special. It's like half an hour of stuff. It's basically the bare bones of it is a stand-up set that I did in January. And then I spliced in random videos from like Instagram and Twitter. And then I threw in some other jokes from the past just to make it look, diverse and different. Rounds out to about 35 minutes. And basically I've just been sending it out to people who Venmo me money. And that money, half of it goes to the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective, which focuses on mental health literacy and mental health care for people who don't have access to it nearly as much as privileged whites would. And the other half goes to the staff at Go Bananas Comedy Club, my club that I, grew up in. They're not working right now. They're renovating the place. And yeah, a lot of great people there. Like it's very much a family there. I've gone to clubs where, the wait staff doesn't know anybody and it's basically just a restaurant with a comedy club stage. Like this thing is a fucking commune. Am I allowed to curse on this?
Oh, fuck yeah.
As much as you want.
Yeah, bitch. All right.
Yeah, now, was that Go Bananas? Was that comedy club in Cincinnati or is that in Chicago?
That's in Cincinnati. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
when I was in Worcester when I started comedy, like the summer before going out to college. Like I did like maybe 3 or 4 mics maybe. And then immediately went to Xavier University for college. And then that's where I started. Go Bananas is the only club in Cincinnati. There's one in Liberty Township, but that's like a 45-minute drive out of the way and not technically Cincinnati. So we just have the one independent club. And there's some great, lifers who wait tables there. There's this lady, Lisa, who's been there forever, and her son works there now too. So like, it wasn't their main source of income, but it was definitely like their, like those tips add up, man, when you get a sold out room like that, like, and to have that money taken away from you like that, it's not, insurmountable, but it's definitely not fortunate. So I figured that money could go towards that for sure.
For sure.
Now, Josh maybe was a little humble there, I guess. The special is really, really, really tight. I just actually watched it. I thought it was awesome. Way better than most of the bullshit on Netflix. If you are interested in it, you should hit him up on Venmo. Check it out. It's definitely worth the money, and the money's going to a good cause. And it's also really just tightly written. A couple things, now obviously I won't say, while I was watching Josh, a couple questions came to my mind.
Okay.
Just thinking about you and what I would like to ask the person who's writing these wonderful jokes that I'm watching. How long ago was it that you said you started doing comedy?
I started in 2012. I started right when I was graduating high school. Yeah, I had always loved stand up and I never really thought I could do it. And then it just kind of occurred to me that I wanted to do it. And yeah, it's just since then I've been nonstop, obviously stopped for the past 4 months, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get to that as well. One of the things you said, well, I guess I should start with this. What inspires you creatively and how much does it cost?
How much? It's about a cheeseburger a joke. I just give somebody food and it's a homeless guy. He gives me all my material.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He's great.
That's awesome.
If
Yeah.
you some homeless
I'm definitely inspired by anytime I just come across like comedy that I haven't like, I don't know, maybe just rejuvenated my senses. You've been in the game, like you get bored or you get tired or you get used to it. And then every now and then somebody or something will come along, whether it's a live performance or an album or just a joke, something reignites that fact that you love stand-up and you love doing it. And it just makes you want to get better at it. I think like an example, like, like during the shutdown, I've only been doing like the occasional Instagram mic or something like that, not really writing nearly as much as I'd like to. And then I listened to an album, it's called Party Nights. It's by Emmy Blotnick, and it's one of the funniest albums I've ever heard. Like, it's so like perfect, like top to bottom, writing, delivery, charm, voice. It's such a good album. And that was the thing where I was like, fuck, I miss jokes. I miss joke writing. I want to get back into it. And then, you know, it's always something like that. You know, sometimes you just go to the club and you see a comic that maybe you didn't know about and they're great. And you're like, oh, cool. Let's get back into the reason I'm doing this. And it's definitely a cycle. It definitely goes in and out, you know, over the years and over the months. You can definitely have bad weeks or bad months or just get tired and bored. But yeah, just the love of the game.
No, totally. I hope this isn't like a weird thing for you to hear or for me to say, but watching your special was definitely that for me. It's like I fucking really wish I could go out and like do a mic without any guilt right now. Like I fucking wish I could go out and fucking write some jokes well, you can write jokes, but I wish I could go and fucking perform, man. I miss it. In your special, you say tangential to a bit. Stand-up is, and I quote, your favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I can imagine, you know, I'm right there with you, man. Like, there's nothing beats fucking killing it, making people fucking laugh and smile and shit. Like, nothing beats that. I mean, it's all for yourself, obviously. I know the way it works. I know the game. But, yeah, man, I guess you said you were doing like an occasional Instagram live thing, but other than that, how is COVID, you know, how have you been holding up with COVID in regards to, you know, this important part of your life being taken from you?
It sucks. I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It fucking sucks. I'm definitely someone who I'm unemployed. I moved to Chicago for the purpose of doing comedy. And I told myself I'd figure out the job stuff, you know, as well. But then a lot of stuff happened. So not only do I not have comedy right now, I don't have work. So I've just been kind of like trying to, you know, keep myself afloat. Obviously, you know, try to laugh at every day, watch something funny, talk to some friends, stuff like that. I'm lucky enough that I have a bunch of comedian friends. So like we are just, you know, it still feels like I'm in a scene, but
yeah,
it is definitely different than being on stage. Obviously, it's weird. You know, you spend a long amount of time forming that as your identity, and then you have to not have that. It's definitely weird. I think that's partially why I put out the special. I kind of wanted to remind myself that I do stand up. But yeah, I think it's hard, obviously, but it's out of all the people who are out of work or dealing with other things, it's like you were saying, guilt. Like I could not possibly try to solve this problem right now, because if I did, I would feel so guilty about it, you know?
Totally. Yeah, you don't want to be part of the problem. You know what I mean? You don't want to contribute in that way when you're just trying to. Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Do you do jokes like on Twitter? Do you use platforms like other than that to write material, or are you one of the are you one of the other type of comics that are out there that, you know, save it for the stage, if you will, you know, only write for the stage?
I say half and half, probably. I used to be very, like, when I lived in Cincinnati, it was very much save it for the stage. Don't put anything that you think would be a really good bit onto the internet. One, because I don't write short jokes necessarily. I write shorter jokes, but like, I'd much rather put out a longer bit into the world than just on like the Facebook in a big paragraph or something. My big thing was in Cincinnati, the scene is relatively small, not crazy small, but like small enough that if you put that joke out on social media, everybody who's at that open mic later that night will have read that joke by then. So you can't tell the joke after and get a gauge on it, because they're all like, oh, well, I liked it earlier. That was my energy towards your joke. And now, so it's one of those things where you don't want the joke to die a quick death. That said, man, I have been on Twitter a lot more recently, just because it does help keep the joke writing muscle, you know, not working, but it definitely is like nice to have the occasional joke land. And then if a joke doesn't land, you go, okay, well, Twitter is a vast black hole of content. This joke will never be seen again. Who cares?
No, yeah, totally. it's for me, it's been the only, like, Twitter's been really the only thing keeping me, like, reminding me that I'm funny at all. Like, it's, you know, like, it was, to be on, and to be fair, it always kind of was something I did use when I first started doing comedy. Like, before I even went to a mic, I had started a Twitter, and I had a few jokes that, like, worked even sort of well, I guess, at that point. And I was like, okay, so for the first time I went on a mic, I know I can do, I probably thought I was the shit with like a hot 2 minutes. And like, for, you know, that's how it goes. You get bit that first time, and you're like, okay, I really enjoyed that. I'll try harder. And then, yeah, definitely when things are normal, I'm one of those comics that likes to, you know, leave some stuff for the stage. Cause like you said, Worcester, where I'm from, you know, very small scene, you know, and comics will see your shit and then they'll haphazardly laugh later, you know. But yeah,
if you can get a comic to genuinely laugh at the bit, then that's the sign of a good bit. And if you waste that on them at home, not around you, it's counterproductive. Even if that is a good joke, that could be the hardest part, is finding out it was a good joke, but you don't believe in yourself because you posted it, did it at a mic, and thought the lack of laughter was just because it wasn't funny, you know.
Definitely.
I got like a two-part question right now, kind of. So since you've been to Chicago, you haven't had a chance to get on stage at all, or have you?
I did for the first month and a half, which was nice. I got to meet a lot of cool people, you know, way more mics there than there are in places like Cincinnati and Worcester, like mics every day. And even if they're bad, they're still pretty good because you're getting on stage. And also there's the saturation of the scene means even if there isn't an audience, there is, because there are comics there. There are a lot of comics. So like it helped. I liked it a lot, but yeah, it was a thing where I quarantined back home with the parents for a while. And then by the time I got back here, everything was, you know, absolutely fucked. So.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, Chicago's great. I mean,
have you done stand-up in any other cities other than the 3 that you've lived in?
I mean, like travel-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing about Cincinnati that's nice is that it's 2 hours away from like a million other scenes. So like you could go to Dayton or Columbus or Bloomington or Indianapolis or Louisville or Lexington, all within the span of a one-night trip. And it's you go, you do your set, and then you just come back. It's not a bad scene. Yeah. Other than that, occasionally I'll do like a one-off. I've been to Atlanta and Nashville, but yeah, I usually stay in the Midwest just because.
So with that, with the you know, the array of scenes you have visited, do you have a preference on one that you could say is, you know, the number one place you've gotten to perform comedy?
Oh man, I don't know. I think biased, I have to be like Cincinnati.
Right.
Just because like, one, is the most time I've ever spent there. My favorite memories are there. I genuinely believe Go Bananas is one of the best clubs in the world. And I think one thing I like about our scene, and most Cincinnati comics will agree on this, is that we really pride ourselves on our hangs. Like, we have some good hangs. Like, we're all very tight. We welcome any out-of-towners in. We make sure they don't have anything bad to say about hanging out there. Like our festival, we have a festival every year that's outside in like a park, and it's not conducive to good comedy at all. You're doing comedy in a park where thousands of people are walking around. You can only judge that you're doing well based on people smiling. You can't, even if they are laughing, it doesn't carry that well. So the point of the festival is just being around a bunch of friends, drinking a bunch of beer in the daytime, and just having a good hang. And I think that's what always endeared me to Cincinnati. You know, it's competitive, but not competitive. It's a million things. I love it. I love it a lot.
Now, a follow-up, really the honest, probably the most important question you'll get asked in your life.
Oh, wow.
What's your opinion on Skyline Chili? Is it that good?
I like it on a hot dog. I like it on a cheese coney. I'm not the biggest, put the chili on the spaghetti with the cheese. I don't.
You put it on spaghetti?
Yeah, that's like the main thing. The main thing is, it's not chili. You don't just eat it like, you don't just eat loose chili. You put it on things. You put it on.
Dude.
It's the classic Skyline Chili dish is a 3-way. It's noodles, Skyline Chili, cheddar cheese, and then like, and then the other thing is the chili cheese dog, the coney. So that's what I like. I like a coney because they do a really good job with it. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of putting it on noodles and stuff.
I did not know it was on noodles because I had just driven through. I just moved out to Denver like a couple weeks ago, like maybe a month ago now. Mm-hmm. And so I had driven through Ohio, and everybody told me like, you got to get this Skyline Chili. But I'm from New York, and I'm pretty elitist when it comes to food. I don't think anywhere other than New York makes good food. So I did not try the Skyline Chili, but I wanted to see, you know, somebody who's lived in Cincinnati, what their opinion on it was.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily, and everybody will tell you this, it's not chili. Like, it's not Texas style chili. It's not just full beef, beans, tomato, onions, peppers. Like, it's more of like a Greek meat sauce almost. Okay. It's got a different consistency, but it still has beef and beans in it.
Is Skyline a franchise, or is it like one place?
No, it's a franchise. Okay. That and Gold Star Chili, those are like the rivals. Yeah, I
hear it does horrible things to your bowel system.
Oh yeah. It's brown liquid that makes your liquid brown. Yeah,
makes sense. Oh geez.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I got a question. Just related to the, we were just talking about comedy festivals. I would be remiss not to mention, I'm wearing the shirt, the Wootenany Comedy Festival, just so I had that on. It's okay, Sean and Brian, they don't watch, but
I'll make them watch. They love me.
Oh, that's big. That's huge. That's huge. That's appreciated immensely. I guess it was funny. One of the clips in your in Childish is actually from the one-liner madness competition, which I came in third, but this is an interview about me. I guess.
Who did you lose to? I think we lost to the same person.
Yeah, some person from New York that used more than one line in their one-liner competition. I'm not mad about it, Josh. There's no need to talk about it. I don't remember her name. She was very funny, but did use more than one line, was it semantics or semantics?
I think it was the same person, Janet McNamara, maybe. She because that was the same thing with me. Like, her bit was very good, but it was more like 3 lines, and I was like,
it was a setup. It was there was a
setup,
twist,
punchline, tag,
no, exactly. And it was like, if I had known those were the rules, all my one-liners that I actually made it to where I made it to in the competition proudly were like traditional one-liners. I also was not ready to make it that far in the competition. Yeah. I had like maybe fucking 3 that I was like confident in, and then I won the first round, and then I won the second round. I was shitting myself by the third, and then it was like up 64 comics or something, and then by the 4th round I had some terrible one-liner about like abortion or something, I think. And I don't know. I knew it wasn't that funny, but if I had known I could experiment a little bit more, I was like, I could have pulled from other stuff. But you live and you learn, you know?
I got up to like I think either the Elite 8 or the Final 4. I don't think it was the Final 4. I think I lost at the Elite 8, but it was the same thing. It's like you speed, like it speeds up to that round. So like, but you do one-liner in the 3rd round, and then you get off stage, and then almost 2 seconds later you're back on. You have to have another joke. And I don't know if you went through this, but I kept saying it sarcastically, but I really do mean it. I kept being like, man, if I had just remembered the ones I was gonna say, I think I would have won.
Dude. Yeah, no, I definitely feel the
I had like a bunch, and like I remember looking at my notebook like the next day being like, oh, you could have done that one and that one and that one, and it would have been fine. But in fairness, the winner is great. Diego, he's one of the funniest guys ever.
Yeah, I got to drive him over to his set at the Woo-Ha-Ha afterwards. Really, I probably listened to Coldplay on the way home or something. But I heard he crushed it there too. Which he's great, man. Yeah. And obviously, all jokes aside, it was a really cool thing just to be a part of. Like that was such a Nick's bar, man. Is like such a small. It's one of my favorite bars.
I love that place, dude. It's Cheers in Worcester. It's the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's the absolute best.
Christian Bale was in that room for a movie. Same with Jeremy Renner and the girl from the Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence.
The American Hustle.
Yeah, American Household. There's
Yeah.
a scene in that movie that's like filmed in that back room there.
Is that the movie that Christian Bale put on like 60 pounds for?
Yeah.
Yes, it
That's
is.
incredible.
You got, like, come over.
Yep. Yeah.
There's also scenes
great.
in the Worcester Art Museum in that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love the Worcester Art Museum. It's the best. It's free. Like on this during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's great for dates. I hear. I don't go on them, but I
Heard of them.
it was. I've heard it's a great thing you can do. You know, if you're tight, strapped for cash. But it was so funny to see 64 comedians fit in that small bar. Like maybe I shouldn't say that if we broke a fire code. There was just enough people to not break fire code in there. I'm telling you, for sure. It was awesome, and it was it was so many good one-liners, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like a competition, but like people were bringing it. And if you could just, I wish I could just have sat there and like enjoyed it as well, have been a part of it.
Yeah, because we had to stay outside of the showroom where you couldn't hear as much, and it was like it wasn't as fun. I love a marathon show like that. Me and my friend John from Cincinnati, we did a thing at an Indianapolis festival where we had everybody on the festival on the show, and it's just the best way. For one, you just meet a million people, and two, you just have a guaranteed good time. Like, it's better than most festival experiences, I feel like.
No, totally. Was that because that was like my first full year in comedy. Like I had started the January before that, October, November, or whatever, and like really started going at it. And it that was like my first festival experience. But had you been to Wootenany before, or like?
I had not. No, I had not. Whenever I'm back in town, like I'll occasionally hit up Sean Connolly and he'll get me on some kind of like Worcester show. But I was finally just like, I think if I got into this festival, my parents would totally finance it, like have me come back and I'd be able to stay there and, you know, have my own rides and stuff. So it was just a nice little way to set up like a family hang / comedy hang.
No, and it's really like Wootenany is like, I mean, I benefit, you know, talking nicely about these guys. They're the guys in Worcester, but like, you know, they put on a really kick-ass festival for like the city of Worcester size. Like they put on so many shows in such a short period of time. That's like one of the biggest bummers of, you know, stand up, you know, of the things lost with stand up to COVID, you know, probably not seeing something, you know, definitely not in the traditional sense with it. I know one of my favorite shows that year was Sean Connolly's album recording at Coney Island's Hot Dogs.
I wish I had been there, man. I fucking wanted to be there so bad.
It was pretty sweet, man. The hot dogs were awesome and the jokes were tight. It was fun. It was fun. I guess let me just see. What was we kind of touched on it earlier, but what was the experience of winning the funniest person in Cincinnati like?
Oh, I was a defeater of my own joy, man. I was very sad back then. I had just gone through a breakup, so I was very sad. I was
oh man, John.
I was so bummed. so my response was to be happy about it and then proceed to get like blackout drunk within like an hour and a half of winning. Like I think I just wanted to be happy, but also just had a real dependency problem. So I was just like, fucking everybody who wants to congratulate me, buy me a shot. And I was out of the door by midnight for sure. Like I remember, yeah. I mean, it was a fun thing. I mean, obviously winning the contest and hearing your name, my biggest thing was like I got off stage and like one of my mentors who I didn't even know was in town was like in the club. So like that's when it like really hit me and I was kind of like very overwhelmed. It was great. It was a good night for Cincinnati comedians because like sometimes that contest, because it's a summer long contest, sometimes that contest gets won by people who aren't even in fucking Cincinnati. Like I want to say wow. 2016, both of the winners were from St. Louis, like both of them. So it was very disheartening. So to have like this 2018 competition be entirely like all locals, like was very, very cool. It was very heartwarming. It was just it's the same thing as what you're saying about the festival. Like it was just a good thing for the scene to have as a whole. That said, Jesus Christ, having the title of that is so stupid. Like, funniest person in Cincinnati. 2 million people. This is the one. Every time you get brought up with that intro, like, oh, this is the funniest person in Cincinnati, that is automatically a way for the audience to challenge you and be like, okay, are you? And then you're like, I don't know, man, probably not.
No.
I would say I would have loved to just have that, like, be like best comedian 2018 or something like that, something less fucking hyperbolic, you know.
The funniest man.
Yeah, the funniest guy in Cincinnati. That's not true. I forget who. Someone was saying this the other day on Twitter. Someone was like, man, the funniest people I know aren't even comedians. The least funny people I know are probably some comedians in my life, you know. The funniest guy I know works in, like, construction, you know. So
yeah, you know, there's a famous Jerry Seinfeld quote, I think, from the documentary Comedian, which is awesome. It definitely was one of the first things I watched when I was really, like, trying to absorb the culture of comedy, right? Wasn't like everyone was funny, you know, but they got jobs, you know, and you know what I mean? And that's what separates people. Like, you know, there are people that go in and try and make that a career, and then there are people that get careers that, you know, are still funny people.
It's
you
just
know,
the thing, man. I think everybody wants to be funny in some sense, you know. Everybody tries at some point in their life, whether it's on a large scale or just amongst their friends. Like, it's an important building block of being a likable person. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong. Would you guys say that confidence is, like, maybe even 90% of the battle when you're on stage and delivering jokes? Like, a joke could be really funny, but if you deliver it improperly, you know, if you don't have the chutzpah to deliver it, do you think it will go over as well?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. I would say there's definitely like poise is important. I feel like just feeling comfortable up there, no matter how you present your comedy. Like, there are definitely comedians who are like, oh, I'm nervous. Like, that's their energy. Like, that's their intentional energy. And if you can tell that's intentional, then it's pretty good. Like, Dan Mintz, the guy who plays Tina in Bob's Burgers, like, he is a comedian and he talks just like Tina in Bob's Burgers. Like, he just sounds very shy and nervous, but, like, every joke is super deliberate and meant to be the way it is. And when you can pull that off, it's important. And on the other side of it, yeah, when you fucking just tell a joke that you think is good, but you're not putting everything into it, it definitely shows. One of my big things is I won't eat a big meal before a show, because then, like, I just feel worse, and then the jokes just are 100% like less fun for anybody.
No, I feel you. It's like, look good, feel good, play good. You know, if you feel full, you're gonna feel heavy. With that said, do you have, like, a moment in your career where you felt like, you know, you arrived on stage where you kind of knew, like, this is definitely what you wanted to do? Was it right off the bat? Did it take a few times? You know,
I mean, I think
Cincinnati.
I don't know if there's ever been an I have arrived moment. You know, people, you bomb and you crush all the time. There's never you never really get anywhere without going up and down. I definitely always just wanted to do it, and then when I realized I could keep doing it and, like, just, like, it can only go up from there, like, that was kind of a good feeling to know, like, there's never gonna you can't be fired from comedy just for being bad. You know what I mean? Like, from the
canceled.
Yeah, you can get canceled. That's a different thing, though. You don't get canceled for being a hack. You get canceled for being the worst person. Like,
I don't want to cancel you here, Josh, but I was going through researching some of your jokes, and I noticed
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying, I noticed a Rick Flair joke in there.
Dude, that Rick joke rules.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
Yeah,
this is my issue with it. The crowd woos to you, and you say, "Oh, other virgins are in the crowd." Now, Josh, I'm a huge Ric Flair fan, so I feel a little offended that you're insinuating that because I like Ric Flair, I do not know what a vagine is.
Oh, I'm totally projecting. As a fan, I'm projecting.
And now
that's a moment of solidarity while also being very mean. It's I mean, no, I love wrestling, and Ric Flair is, like, the best in the world, like 100% over. He's a legend. So, yeah, it's fun to. I think it's just like, it's that self-deprecating thing comics do. Sometimes you have to admit that something's stupid, or what you're talking about is dumb, or that, you know,
Not
like,
taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just be like, wrestling's cool, and if you don't think so, you're not gonna like this bit. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah, I got you. I just want to say I'm not a virgin for everybody listening. I'm a Rick Flair fan who is not.
We believe you.
A virgin. Yeah, just so everyone, just to clarify, just to clarify.
No,
I fuck
no doubt over here, Mike. I got you.
I fuck, dude. I fuck. Okay, I fuck.
Oh man, Mike. You just asked about confidence and like stage presence and like the importance of it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and something I can just attest to, like writing's also key. Like definitely with like, and I know just speaking on Josh's material that I just witnessed from Childish, and I'd seen I'd seen him before live, but Josh is like really tight writing. And like there are differences between comics there, because comics can get up there and be like loud and boisterous and confident, proud in some way, right? But like sometimes I don't remember everything they say because none of the jokes that I thought were like that well written or whatever. But like the personality sold everything.
Yeah.
I think there are people that are like that. Sorry.
What about Eric Andre?
I feel like Eric Andre is kind of what you're saying. I love Eric Andre. I want to preface with but I think he's kind of the guy who's loud, boisterous. Like he's more animated rather than like heavy written material. I mean, I'm sure he obviously writes his material, but I feel like he's getting off more on like that crazy personality than he is on like clever, witty jokes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen. I know he just actually released a Netflix special. Yeah, I haven't seen it. So is it good?
I enjoyed it. If you like the Eric Andre show.
I did not enjoy it at all.
Really?
This is me drawing a line. All right. This is the thing about Eric Andre. I think Eric Andre show is awesome. I think he's very funny. He's not a good stand-up comedian.
That's kind of where I was going with.
And the whole audience in that fucking crowd is people who like the show and paid money to see him. And now that he's up there, they are excited to see him, but are not willing to admit the fact that good TV can sometimes translate to terrible, god-awful stand-up. Like,
I guess that's what I meant with like when I referenced Eric Andre. Like, I didn't think the jokes were good, but I thought it was like a fun show to watch.
There were some fun parts, but yeah, it's like on paper, I hated it.
Yeah. So
let's start let's at Eric Andre in this podcast.
Whatever. I spent years on Twitter saying Chris D'Elia wasn't funny, and now I don't feel guilty about it at all.
You were right.
right. I'm a hero.
Hell
You're a hero.
Way
You're
ahead
a hero.
Of the curve.
Never wore a cape.
We should. I mean, Eric Andre was never the funniest man in Cincinnati. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
So. I guess something to that end. There's another comic I know that I think I don't really get either, Josh. And I'll say a name because you said a name.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson. Personally.
Oh, yeah.
I think the biggest tragedy of 9/11 was that guy's career.
Okay.
Honestly,
okay.
I'm not done.
Liam.
Not done.
Keep it up.
I'm not done.
Hold no punches.
I'm not done. So Pete Davidson, right?
Jesus Christ! What are you doing?
I told you not to pull any punches, but I would have preferred if you pulled that.
I'm a guest on this. I don't like this.
You talked me up.
Look him up. I did. I fired you up.
Ask Josh another question. Ask him another question.
I first want to come up and I want a counterpoint of what you're saying.
I want to steal this whole screen just so people can see how I'm reacting to it.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't want them thinking we're smiling with
we can cut that. We'll cut.
No.
You guys, I hate Pete Davidson. I hate him.
We're allowed to hate Pete Davidson.
Guys, you guys can't hang. It's fine.
I think one of the worst things that happened to Pete Davidson was Ariana Grande saying he had a big dick. You know what I mean?
Oh,
because apparently
he
doesn't have a big dick. So
here's the thing. Can I be an old man comedian? Can I mansplain comedy to you right now?
Oh, go ahead.
When you're newer in comedy, or the longer you go, you hate comedians. Sure, you hate them and you want to shit all over them. But you know what's more fun over time? You'll learn that over time it's more fun just to say they are, quote, bad at stand-up. Just saying that is so much more fun over time than being like 9/11 and fucking. I mean, obviously there are comedians I don't like, but yeah, you'll learn to not hate them. You'll just be like, oh, well, fuck them. That's it.
I just definitely, don't like Pete Davidson.
I'll say.
What were you still talking? I'm sorry.
The Pete Davidson special is bad, though. I will give you that. Like,
Thank you.
It's not a good special.
Okay.
It's a very late.
Listen,
it's very lazy.
I was hamming it up. I was hamming it up for sure.
As a person on a show called Good Vibes Live, Liam has tons of hate in his heart for other comedians.
Yeah, this was always such a
in the vibe, man.
No, it's really just Pete Davidson, and it's also because he's only like a year or two older than me, and has been on SNL for like 3 years. Like that's definitely.
I think he's been on SNL for longer than that.
Good for him. I'm glad. And he has a special on Netflix. It's great.
He's also like a year younger than me. So like, how do you think I feel? You know?
Oh man.
Which mean is Pete Davidson really that young?
He's pretty young.
Yeah. He was on SNL like
at 18ish.
At like 18 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Very young. I don't. I've never met the guy. I just didn't like the special that much, and Josh, got me riled up. Got me riled up talking about Eric André. Oh man, fun times, guys. Good vibes.
This is not the first time either that Liam has talked how much he dislikes Pete Davidson on this show.
Oh,
we did edit up the first time.
It's an ongoing.
I think I said other worse things at the time. Oh man, Josh, I don't want to end it there, to be honest with you, because I feel like that's a weird place to end it.
Replug the Childish special.
Yeah, because talk about all the good in the world Josh has put out there.
Exactly, like the donations. I mean,
the good vibes back.
What's the? Are you at Josh Oatmeal on both Twitter and Instagram?
Josh?
Yeah, I am at Josh Oatmeal on Twitter and Instagram. And if you go on to those, you can find the Venmo for Childish. Send me any payment, pay whatever you want, and add your email address to the bottom of it. And I will share the file with you, and then you can watch it.
And keep in mind, all proceeds are going to go to Go Bananas is the name of the club.
Yep, half go to Go Bananas and half go to the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective.
And with the way the world is going right now, that is doing more than most people. That is a really admirable thing to be doing in this
100%
historical.
Are you worried? I'm sorry I cut Mike off like 3 times there very awkwardly. Just bad. It was bad. Josh, one thing, where'd you get the idea of just like stitching these bits together? And are you worried that you're going to inspire lesser comedians to do like the same thing? Because it really worked for you. You had these transitionary things. The bits were like full bits, and it's almost like a scene transition. It worked.
I don't think.
Have you seen someone do that?
I'm trying to think. The closest thing I could think of is like Adam Sandler's new special, which is so good. And like, it's, different venues or different time frames. A great comic who's eventually putting it out, I hope, Sam Talent out of Colorado, actually, did a thing where he recorded his hour across a couple different venues, and then he's going to edit it together. So that's going to look really cool. And I'm not opposed to the format. I don't think I'm going to inspire anybody. I'm mostly just sending this to friends and fellow comics, but it's a cool thing if you are curious about like what, stand-up is like over time, or how someone's voice can change, or how a joke can change, or what different crowds are like, or what different rooms are like. Like David Tells on the Road is a great special, and it's all over. Like it's just all over all these different clubs, all these different angles, all these different jokes. And I was glad that I had like a long set that I could use for the bare bones of the project, and then splice in things wherever I wanted. I think I was just lucky like that. I just the idea occurred to me very recently, and it just kind of happened in the middle of the morning one day. So if other comedians want to do it, I bet they'll do it in a much better format, probably.
What was the not inspiration, but what was the filming method? Like, were you using, was it via phone cameras, or did you have like legitimate film equipment for these?
The main set is filmed by Michael Holder, a comedian out of Cincinnati. He just brings the camera every now and then for shows that he knows are going to be big or people want tapes of. So I think he and the headliner I was featuring for, like coordinated bringing the camera there. So I had a set out of that. And then Go Bananas used to be a rooftop comedy club. Rooftop comedy used to be a website where a couple clubs all over the country had cameras in the back, and then you could go on the website and email them and be like, can I have my set? And they give you your fucking dog shit. And then you can do whatever. So yeah, there's a couple clips from Rooftop in the special. One from when I was like 21, like 2014, like super young, super
Is that when
new.
you had the crazy hair?
That one is from my funniest person in Cincinnati set. The crazy hair is that. But yeah, there's one where and like you'll be able to tell immediately. Like my voice is higher. I dress worse. I'm more performative. I feel like Liam knows it. It's the Power Rangers joke. Yeah. But like but it's very much like that was the thing. It was just a bunch of video from over the years. It was never like planned. It wasn't ever like, all right, guys, I'm about to go up and tape my special. Like this just was like something we were doing.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
There's Josh, I'm sorry, but like now that I know that, like through watching the special, now that I know that the point with the crazy hair was when you won that award, and you were saying that you were so sad at the time, I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
I was a mess. I was an absolute mess, man. I had the old Bob Ross thing. I was drinking and smoking every day. I was a wreck, man.
It's funny. Me and Liam actually met via Heartbreak. We were both like, when we first met, we both like almost immediately went into some horrible breakups and just binge a lot of bad things. And now we're here making a podcast. So
it worked out.
We're
so happy. Yeah.
I can fake a smile now. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, we've gotten great at that. This has been Good Vibes Live. I guess
plug the fucking t-shirts.
Yes. Okay. We'll get to that. Now I guess we can talk about actual good vibes. Is Josh, I want to put you on the spot here.
Does he get to drop a song?
I want to see if he's got Josh. So one thing we do here with Good Vibes Live is we have a playlist that is like kind of a companion piece to the podcast. All it is positive songs, like songs that put us in a good mood. It doesn't necessarily need to be a song that's like actually preaching positivity or whatever, but just a good vibe, right? Now, if you had to pick any song on earth that are not the 8 songs that we have or something like that.
Like 12 now, I think.
12, whatever. And if it is one of those songs, just by the sheer happenstance, we'll put it on twice. But, Josh, what's a song that puts you in a good mood?
Man, I love Eggman by the Beastie Boys.
Oh.
Eggman
by the Beastie Boys.
It is a great song from a great album. It's got great killer bass line from Curtis Mayfield, and it's a song about driving up to people in your car and throwing eggs at them. It's hilarious. It's a great song. I've been reading the Beastie Boys book recently, and it's fun. I would add Eggman by the Beastie Boys. Am I only doing one song?
One song. I have a pretty cool tidbit on the Beastie Boys. I got to go to if you're a big Beastie Boys fan, I'm sure you would like this. I went to a Brooklyn street art museum. So it was all like, old school graffiti and everything. And there was a section dedicated to the Beastie Boys. And I don't want to, sound wrong here. Is it Mike D who recently passed away?
MCA died.
MCA. They had a whole bunch of his handwritten like music on a whole wall of all his handwritten songs and everything. It was a super cool thing to like just check that out, like stuff that never made it to anything, but just like what he would work on, and you saw like his process and like how he would scratch out words. It was really like a really cool thing to check out if you are a Beastie Boys fan.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
William, do you have a song for the week?
Yeah. Give me a sec. I was gonna play the shirt, but yeah, no. I think it was cool to get a guest. That, adds a little bit different flavor to the playlist we got going.
You mind if I drop my song while you're looking?
I would prefer you do that, so it's not dead air to me.
So my song of the week. So I don't know how many of you know The Great Dictator, the Charlie Chaplin film, but he delivers.
I love that movie,
bro. Fucking incredible movie. So do you know the speech, the greatest speech from that movie?
Yeah.
So Mo Guy, this EDM artist, has put a beat to that speech, and it is the most uplifting song I've ever heard in my life. So I'm going to throw it on the playlist, and I would recommend everybody, especially in the time period where the vibes are kind of not as righteous as you would like them to be. This is for sure a good vibe banger.
All right. For me, I got Jenny Was a Friend of Mine by The Killers.
Ooh, good song.
Yeah. I just heard it on the radio the other day, and I was like, "Yep, this is going on that list." So.
Are we gonna plug the artist as well?
Yeah, so we can talk about that. So, and of course we are. We're nothing without the works of Brieanna Woodward, what I know Josh is familiar with. Yeah. Brieanna Woodward not only made these sweet T-shirts, of which there are one in existence, and I'm holding it in my hand, and we will give it away at some point when we figure out a way that makes sense to do that.
$9.
Yes, yeah, they are. I don't know what Mike just said, but yeah, we're gonna be maybe doing shirts like that. She also designed the cool ass psychedelic intro that we got going at the end of every episode.
And plug
Brieanna's
yourself.
amazing.
Who made that? Who made the dope bass riff?
Oh yeah, that was me. I made music. I made the music that our intro song.
Not fucking brand.
I had never done anything before ever in anything instrumental or musically related, but I can layer a couple things that are come pre-built in GarageBand and make it sound good. It's fun. But honestly, hey, I'm sorry for just talking so much now, because again, this was Josh O'Neill's episode.
Yeah.
Josh, thank you so much for coming aboard. We will that was awesome. This was a lot of fun. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you more at length. And again, make sure you get out there and hit him up for that, the special, because it's awesome. It's good shit and worth every penny. And especially because the money goes to a good cause. So,
and we'll put the link to that. We should put his @s in the bio of this.
I'm gonna do that, Mike. Obviously, okay. I'm gonna do that. Dog.
I'm just making sure. I'm telling the fucking fans, man. I'm telling the fucking fans, baby.
All right.
Giving them what they want. Giving them what they want.
All right. Yeah, Josh, we're gonna be plugging your shit. Don't. It'll be great.
Yeah, we get like a solid 27 listeners an episode, so your shit's gonna skyrocket after this.
Average. Yeah. Again, thanks again, Josh. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Right. We can take us off. We are no longer. What'd you say about the juices, or was it the Jews? What did you say, Mike?
The juices are flowing. Are we recording now?
What? That'd be